Hey there, let's talk about some of the new features that came to the Nextech solution. First, starting with Nextech Lead Management, and that's going to be delivery stats for your email campaigns. What we'll find is if we go into the campaign management tool, there's now the option of seeing on the right-hand side those campaigns that have processed emails, delivered emails, opened, and clicked emails as well, so built right into the system. As we jump into the practice management itself, we're going to pull up the new appointment bundling feature. That is part of the availability, which lets us search through the schedule, but now we can search for more than one visit at a time. In this example, let's search for a consult new patient for a specific provider and maybe on just a Wednesday and in the morning. Historically, we can only look for this one, but if we needed multiple appointments, we would have to do it again. Now, using the appointment bundling feature, we can duplicate this visit. More importantly, we can search for a procedure slot at the same exact time. So now we can look at it side by side. This will allow us to see availability for both appointment types. It allows us to book both at the same time. And what will happen is this will link the visits together. So this way the patient will only receive one reminder. Going a little bit further, let's pull up our check-in center. Actually, I'm going to just talk about something really quick. With the check-in center, as most of you know, that will show forms that were signed on the patient portal, but those forms were unique to the patient. Really, they were just used for everybody in the practice. Now we have enterprise intake forms, which means if we have multiple practices using the system, the patient will only be shown the forms that are allotted based off of their appointment visit. That's going to be very important. Pulling up the check-in tool, though, I want to pull up something new, which is going to be the point of sale feature. The point of sale is going to replace the cash register for those of us that are still using it. And essentially this shows us a little bit about the patient before an invoice is created. Left-hand side is going to let us build a membership if we want to. Then we'll also see any outstanding balances or packages or quotes that the patient might have. The right-hand side is going to show what's been built on this invoice so far. In this case, we're just selling a product. And more importantly, we're putting a different sold by user because that relates to commission. We'll see on the top, this still lets us add services, products, packages, and gift cards. And of course, it still works with the Nextech payment program, so we can use an integrated credit card. We can just swipe or dip that card to process that transaction. This also lets us do tipping as well for our customers that want to add a tip to the service. That is no problem. A little bit hard to show on this video, but essentially we can add a tip. This way we can show it in a separate financial report, a provider tip report. So this way we can report on that information. For my offices on the more of the medical side that take insurance, we also now offer Nextech RCM. So if you want to help eliminate some administrative and billing burdens, we can do that for you. This means that we're going to essentially do the billing for you, and we're going to increase your claim rates with an average of 97%. I would recommend calling into our team and finding out more information on this. Last but not least, nothing to show here, but for our med spa customers, we now support ePrescribing and lab functionality built within the iPad, so this way you can use what you need to do and move on.
Okay, so for your practice, since you are participating in wellness or you have purchased the lab module, we make it super simple for you to be able to order labs as well as view those results from the chart. So on our summary page, we have our summary menu item for labs. Clicking on this is going to open and launch you directly into our lab ordering experience. So here we can see where we've come right in contact with our patient. We can see a list of frequently used vendors for our area. We also have the ability to search for labs based on zip code. And we can see a complete list of items here returned to us. We'll just go ahead and let's just choose this Quest location. Excuse me, we'll choose Quest, Florida, maybe as an example. And we will go ahead and click on continue. And this is going to bring us the ability to search for the specific type of lab that's offered. This will update depending on the location that I use. We're going to see the services that are offered at that location. So if I click here, we can see it's a completely different list based on that facility that you do choose. Also, you have the ability to set up quick orders. I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But we will go ahead and I'm just going to pick anything here. Let's do this test. You have the option to create a priority for that test, which we can do stat. This is not a required field, but if it is something that you're looking at, you want those results faster, you can certainly update that. And you can add any test notes that will be visible on that order that's received by the lab. And we can go ahead and click on continue at this point. And then we are going to choose our diagnosis. So that's super important for the labs. They need that information for billing out to insurances or to the patient. So let's just go ahead and just click quick one here. This is going to search the entire database of ICD-10 codes. So you should never be without an item in that list. And then this is going to pull in, from your setup. When we set you up, you'll have your client number, and then you can also choose your ordering physicians. Here's where we can actually create that quick order. So before we saw under quick order CVC, if this is something that you frequently order as part of your wellness services or frequent labs that you're doing, definitely recommend that we have you clicked on that. That's going to save you just lots of time as you're going through the ordering process. And you can give that, a specific name. So maybe this is, Dr. Hans's lab, right? Whatever you want to call that, totally up to you to be able to call that quick order. We're going to go ahead and click on continue. And then we will see here a preview of our requisition. I'm not going to submit this, but this, if I was going to actually complete a full requisition for a patient in real life, I would click on this submit. I also have the ability to print this. So maybe the patient isn't sure exactly where they want to go, or they want to have a paper copy in their hand to walk out with. You can also print this out to supply to the patient. But submitting this electronically will send that order over to that lab, and that patient can go ahead and get that service created. So we have a medication here for Ozempic. Now, if the medication I'm looking to prescribe is not here, we would just simply add the medication in. I'm just going to choose metformin. So this is taking me through wanting me to pick the specific information. The UI and experience is great, walks you through everything that you need to enter, and if you forget anything, rest assured we will be reminding you through alerts that additional information is required. We can also quickly see what information is required to add here. So we'll just enter in take one, let's say tablet by mouth, twice a day. And you can use any free text additional information if you wanted them to take it in the morning or a specific time, or instructions on how to store it or anything like that. You can add those items in there. We'll click add, and now this patient's medication is added to their list here. So if we wanted to prescribe, let's say today we're going to go ahead and prescribe Ozempic for the patient. I can click the RX button. If this had previously been prescribed, we would be able to just mark it as renewed, which is a really time-saving technique for if the dose is the same and refills and dispense and all that necessary pharmacy information is the same. Saves a lot of steps through that refill button. Let's just go ahead and select prescribe for medication. And here we can see the information that has come from the previous screen. So we already have how often they're taking it. If I need to make any changes here, we can do that. Maybe it's going to be twice a week. And then we can enter in the number of units that we are going to give the patient. and it's going to give us any errors that if there is a issue there. I'm honestly not sure exactly what this is dose warning. So we are going to get clinical alerts if the dose is, not in line with, either the patient's age or any other item. This is just a test item I'm selecting, so I'm going to acknowledge these alerts. And we are now ready to send that prescription.